But why is bird flu different than COVID is a big question. And why does it have so many people worried if it starts to become a human-to-human virus? I'm a second-year medical student. I'm going to explain to you in the terms that I understand it of why so many people, including myself, are starting to get a little worried about the bird flu. First thing to know about viruses, which is what the bird flu is it infects your cells. And in the case of bird flu, it usually stays amongst the same species, in this case animals, birds. What's a little concerning with this one, though, is that the bird flu is starting to be seen in other species, different animals. We've known that it's gone now from birds to big wildcats in those reserves. I think there was like 17 that died. And the concern is when a virus jumps from an animal to humans. The reason why this hasn't happened yet is because what they call the respiratory tract, which is the cells that make up the airway system essentially in birds, is a different setup than those of humans. So the bird flu virus is really able to attach itself to the airway system of the birds, but not so much of humans. Now, where people start to get really worried is when a virus enters a system, a body, for example. Take, for example, the individuals who have been handling these dead birds who have been sick, and the virus somehow gets into a human's body. The virus mutates, meaning it likes to change its structure in order to be more infective, to get more things sick in order for the virus to survive. Now, a virus can mutate on its own in the wild, or it can mutate and change when it's already in somebody. Where people are starting to get concerned is that they have seen in one of the recent cases of somebody who was positively tested for bird flu, that bird flu virus in the human body underwent mutation and changes while in the human body. Now, when a virus does this, it mutates in order to make itself more compatible with a human respiratory system. Which is why right now, the CDC and health experts are saying that the worry rate right now is a little low because there's been no documented cases of a human with bird flu infecting another human with bird flu. If that happens, it means the virus has mutated to be compatible with the structure of the human airway system and would infect humans. This is an article from Nature magazine, nature.com, which is one of the top publication entities for science journalistic research papers. This was published in 2012. As you can see in big bold over here, H5N1, which is the bird flu, has a 59% mortality rate, which means 59% of living creatures, birds or humans, that get bird flu end up dying and not surviving. And this is one of the biggest reasons of why this is potentially a bigger concern than COVID, because the mortality rate is so much higher than COVID. In addition to that, with COVID, it primarily affected people with pre-existing conditions, people who were obese, older people who had medical issues that were already there before they got sick. With bird flu, however, we're already seeing some of the individuals who handled the dead birds and got the virus to being young, no pre-existing health conditions, pretty much healthy, normal people like you and I. But the 59% mortality rate is still the concern. And a lot of people, including myself, are starting to see parallels in history repeating itself exactly this time last year, 5 years ago when COVID started coming out. And the concern is that people are so burdened and just exhausted from the COVID pandemic that we might start getting really lax with the protective measures we have, like masks wearing, distancing, washing our hands, if the bird flu were to jump from bird to human and then from human to human transmission, which again, right now, there's been no documented cases. But yeah, I'm a little worried and a little concerned because this is starting to give December, January, February 2020 vibes all over again. And this time, there would be a lot more deaths amongst a lot more healthy people.